Hi, I'm Eileen Blodgett, and I'm a visual artist, and I paint and draw, and I'm also a teaching artist. And this is a job that many artists do for a full-time job. We teach art, and you know there are lots of jobs that you can do as an artist. Some artists paint, some sculpt, some do dance or music, and these can be jobs that people earn a living from. So, do you think that maybe designing buildings is a sort of art form? I do. People who design buildings and draw them are called architects. So they have to make the design and plan where everything goes. So today we're going to use our drawing skills to learn how to draw three-dimensional cube shapes and create a house like an architect might. Maybe even a tree house. So that's what I have planned today. But first, you're going to need a pencil and an eraser. Make sure you have plenty of eraser because we're going to do a lot of erasing today, because that's what this is about. So the first part of our drawing lesson is called the glass box. So we're going to use our paper and we're going to draw a cube, but I'm going to show you a shortcut way of how to make a cube. So I'm going to start here on my paper and I'm going to draw a square. It's okay if it's not perfect. So I have one square right there. Now I'm going to put my pencil in the center of that square and draw another square to the right. So watch carefully. I'm starting in the center. I'm going to draw a line out about the same length as this one. Then I'm going to make this one into a square by extending the lines down and then having them meet. So it's a square with another square. Might not be perfect. Let's just call it a parallelogram or something. It's okay if it's not perfect. Now I'm going to take those two squares and attach the corner, top corner to top corner, like that. Top corner to top corner, like that. Do the same here. And I'm even going to attach this one. And if you look at that, it might look like an ice cube or a glass box because we can see through it. All right? So again, I'm going to show that again. A box. I'm going to show it in a different direction. Putting my pencil in the center, and I'm going to go the other way and create another box. Close it. And then I'm going to attach corner to corner. So you might want to stop the video in between parts if you get lost here. So here I have two cubes. One's a little smaller, one's a little larger. So what if I want this to be not a see-through glass box? I'm going to call this the glass box up here. What if I want this to not be a see-through box? I'm going to take my eraser, and I don't want to see through the front. I'm going to erase these lines. So I can't see through that part of the box. I'm going to erase this line. Now I can't really see through this side of the box anymore. I can see inside, so this might be a great way to have a box where maybe something's going to go inside the box. Would that be fun? What could be in your box? Let's try another one. You can draw along with me if you want. Box, square, square. This will get really easy after a while if you do them. The only place you don't draw a line through is that middle square that you've created. Okay, here's my other box. I'm going to get rid of those lines because I don't want to see through. And get rid of this one because I don't want to see through that side of the box. So here I have my box, and maybe this box could have maybe a lid. You know, when you get a package in the mail and you open it, and here's the top flap that you've opened. What could be in the box? Could it be a box filled with love? This would be a great project for a Valentine's message. Maybe it's a box filled with love. All the hearts are coming out. Okay, so now we figured out how to draw a glass box, a solid box that something can go inside, and now we've drawn a lid on a box, like it's a package. So let's see what other kinds of things we can do here. The other thing is, if you're drawing something like this and it's solid, you can also color and shade the edges to make it a little bit more three-dimensional. Maybe the inside's even darker because there's no light coming inside there. So you can shade the sides of your box, and maybe the box itself has a shadow. Maybe it's casting a shadow on the table. So this is kind of a warm-up for the treehouse. I know I told you we're going to make a house out of these boxes. So let's try that next. Okay, so we're going to start with a new sheet of paper. The one thing you want to remember is this. I'm going to show you this. If you remember to keep your lines parallel, right, you can draw cubes or boxes facing different directions. It's just that you will erase different lines. We learned that you can even add shadows. And the next thing we're going to try is if we hold our box, if we have a box and we hold it up above our head, we'll be able to see the bottom. So we can see the bottom of the box, and it would only take a little bit more to add a roof and create a tree house. So that's what we're going to do next. New sheet of paper. And you might want to start and draw along with me. We just have to remember what we did before. So we're going to start up in the upper third of our paper because we want to leave room down here for the tree part of our tree house. So you're going to draw your box or your cube in the upper part of the paper. So I'm going to start like I did before. I'm going to draw a square, another square. Remember, I start right in the center, come out here. It's okay if it's a little wonky. It's a tree house, right? We're going to, these lines are all parallel, pretty much. Now we're going to connect those corners. And here we have our square. I'm drawing lightly because I know I'm going to be erasing some of these lines. Now this is a tricky one. If we want to be able to see the bottom of this block that's going to become a tree house, I'm going to be getting rid of certain lines. I'm going to erase certain lines. So we can't see through the bottom. I'm going to erase this one. So this is the bottom of the tree house now. You might be able to start seeing it. Okay, this is the bottom. We can see this side, but we want to get rid of this line so we can see the side of the tree house. Now if your tree house was open and you wanted to leave it open to see what's inside, we could stop pretty close to here, but we don't really want to see inside. So we're going to get rid of we're going to keep this line. We're going to get rid of this one. We want to see the bottom. And we're getting rid of this one. And we don't want to see this. Now I'm getting confused. Here we go. So we got rid of all the lines we don't want to see, and we see the bottom of the house. We don't want to see in here, but we might want to add a door for our tree house. This is the bottom of our tree house, and maybe there'll be a door. So you can decide what shape door you want your tree house to have. And just so that you can see where it's going, I'm going to put the roof on. You can use a triangle shape to create a roof, and maybe a little sloping line like that. So now you can kind of imagine that this is a house that's up in the air. Could we put windows? Sure. If you want your tree house to have a window. And let's see, what else? Maybe there'd be some sort of decoration or window. Up to you. This is the part that's kind of fun. You can design your tree house. But we have to figure out a way that this house is going to be held up in the tree. So now's the time to think of how the tree, which is going to be down here, you can draw some lines. It's got to be a big sturdy tree. How is this tree going to support the tree house? So the tree is going to come down here and come up here, and it'll have branches coming off of it, and maybe we'll have a tree, the tree holding the house there. So we're going to erase where the tree is holding the house. There we go. And then the tree probably has other branches. The trick to making branches is you keep making Ys. Why? Make some Ys. Here's another V or a Y. And you can bring the branches down. And you can work on the details of the branches later too. But you can see we're trying to get the tree to be holding the house. So we'll work on the tree a little bit later, maybe give it some leaves. So now our tree house has a place to sit. But how are we going to get up the tree house? That's something else that you're going to need to decide. How will you get up to that tree house? Will it have a ladder? Will it have a rope? Maybe you'll have different ways to get up there. I think I'm going to create a rope ladder that gets me up to this tree house. So I have a platform over here so I can get up there. And then I'm going to create a rope ladder to come down. Again, you'll probably have your own ideas. So here's our little rope ladder that comes down to the ground. And we'll make little ladder strips on our rope ladder. So we can get up this way. Maybe you'll have a rope that you can swing down on to come off. This is the fun part, kind of designing how you get up to the tree house, what's going to be up there. Maybe you've got another thing here with your favorite tree where your tree house is. You might even have a tire swing. Wouldn't that be fun to have? I would love to have a tire swing. I used to have one. And then you can make your rope look like a rope. And you can create leaves on your trees. What else would be down there? If you had a tree house, maybe you had a club or something that meets there. You have to use your imagination about what would be happening in this tree house. And you can keep decorating it. You can give it maybe a tiled roof. Who would you be inviting? It would be kind of a fun story to write and tell us all about who's invited to this tree house and what happens in there. Okay, maybe it has a fancy kind of window up here. And who would be down here, and how did people come? Maybe people rode their bicycles to get here to this tree house. You could have those down here. You can add all sorts of details. You could even have signs on here, on the tree. This is Tony's tree house. Maybe there'd be animals up in the tree, maybe some squirrels or birds. Just let your imagination wander. And you can also add bark to your tree, some more details. So remember that all just started with a cube. What other things can you draw by using this cube shape? You could maybe make dice or an ice cube, sugar cubes, a Rubik's cube, a cubicle. Some people work in cubicles. So there are all kinds of things you can do with this type of drawing. So have fun designing your own treehouse and seeing what else you can draw with the magic cubes. See you next time.